If you are constantly in your head, burnt out, and feeling like love just feels so far away from you, it's not because you're broken. It's because you have not ignited your feminine energy. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 habits that completely changed my life and ignited my feminine energy. And it allowed me to attract so much more love, so much more fulfillment, so much more capacity to receive. It's so powerful what happens when you step into your divine nature of being a feminine woman. And you're going to want to stick to the end, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you how you can take little teeny tiny baby steps, nothing too hard, to allow yourself to ignite this feminine energy. Hi, beautiful queen. My name is Joanna, and I have decided that this channel is a channel for the spiritually hungry woman who is ready to reignite her feminine energy and attract healthy love through spirituality, self-devotion, and embodiment. So if that is you, you're going to want to stick around and hit that subscribe button, because we're going to have so much fun in this channel together. I'm so excited to pour into you and for you to come back home to who you really are and live your best freaking life, because that's what we're here for. So what an honor it is to be a vessel of that for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first habit that completely changed my life was slowing down. The feminine is not about rushing. It's not about forcing. It's not about racing to the top. The feminine is a energy that's very slow and sensual and attuned to the moment. And so we live in a world where we have been completely programmed to feel that we need to rush to success. We need to rush love. We need to rush our everyday life. We need to rush to work. We need to rush to get ready. Everything is about rushing. And so what happens is that when we are in this energy of rushing, we are in survival mode. And so our nervous system is in this active state. And when our nervous system is in that really intense active state, what happens is that all your energy starts to shoot up to your head, and you start to think, overthink, overdo, overthink, and you become so head focused. And then all day, every day, you're just living in your head and completely numb from your body. Your feminine energy lives in the lower half of your body, lives in your pleasure centers from the waist down. And so if you're not slowing down on a day-to-day basis to feel yourself here in this moment, you're just going to be living in your head all the time. And that's going to lead to intense burnout. And that's where I was in my life. I was a fitness coach, working crazy hours, training clients, working online, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., rushing, to-do lists that were so big, feeling guilty and ashamed because I couldn't get everything done, taking so many stimulants just to get by, because I had no idea. No one had taught me what my feminine energy was. No one taught me that in this body, there's so much more juicy, delicious energy that can tap me into my magnetism, to my radiance. And instead of chasing and rushing, I can sit back and attract and allow things to come to me, right? So slowing down, and I'll give you some tips on this at the end. Slowing down, knowing that it is safe for you to slow down. And so it does take a lot of cultivation of safety in your body to know that you are worthy of slowing down, of taking things slow, because honestly, what is the rush? That's something that I always ask myself. What am I rushing towards? What happens if I rush myself there? What's the difference between rushing there and just enjoying the process of getting there, wherever there is, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations? They don't need to be rushed. The feminine is all about magnetism and attracting. Now, I will say, it does not mean that you won't ever take action and you're just going to sit back and be here and like set your intentions and then expect the universe to give you everything. There is action that needs to be taken. However, that action does not come from your mind. That action comes from your body, from your feminine energy. So when you slow down to listen to yourself, you will then understand what wants to move through you which will come from your feminine depth, and then you will be able to take masculine action from that place. So a great example of this is taking some space, we'll talk more about this, to sit with yourself, to ask yourself, what do I want to create in the world? And instead of being in your mind and letting the logical mind try to like logically put together everything, you tap in and you listen and you breathe and you feel the whispers of your heart, the whispers of your soul. And this takes practice, takes space. It takes slowing down to listen. And so, for instance, my creation wanting to be birthed through the world right now is YouTube. So I'm listening to that and I've sat with that. And instead of rushing to create this video, I've taken space, I've taken time, I've been journaling a lot. I journal so much, and this is something that's so powerful that I invite you to take on. And I just journal about, how does this creation want to move through me? And then when I feel like action is ready to come through from that place where I've felt this creation, then I'm like, okay, now this is how I want to structure this video. This is how I want to talk about this. These are the tips I'm going to talk about. And then the action comes from that place. So think about it. As a woman, you have a womb. You bring a child into the world, right? It takes 9 months for that child to be birthed. So creation from a feminine energy is slow. So let yourself slow down. Let yourself bask in the moment. It will change your life. Habit number 2 that has activated my feminine energy is surrounding myself with beauty. So before, I used to be somebody that had a really messy room and things didn't really go together color-wise, and I had like a lot of like blues and sharp black colors in my room. And it was such a reflection of how much I was in my masculine energy, how much I was in that energy of doing and going and striving. That was very masculine, and it was really reflected in my room. And once I started to embody more of my feminine energy and slowing down, I decided to surround myself with more beauty because I wanted my environment to be a reminder of my beauty, of who I am inside as a feminine being. And so I started to buy myself candles, and I'm going to put some links below so you can also have some inspiration of some things that you can buy to surround yourself with more beauty and more pleasure. Flowers. I actually have some flowers right there. They're kind of dying right now because my partner got them at Costco and I don't think they have good flowers there. So they're dying, and he literally just got them and I'm so sad. Anyways, flowers, buying yourself a little meditation cushion that feels good for you to possibly put in an altar that you can go to every day that has beauty. Lighting, the lighting in your room, the lighting in your space, little lights that you can buy. I'll share more tips on that. But just surrounding yourself with beauty, right? Because when you are in that energy of beauty, you are connected to the feminine. If you're living in a household that's just full of chaos and things are all over the place and everything is super messy, don't get me wrong, sometimes things still get messy in my house, and I have to continue to remind myself that this is important for my feminine energy. So don't worry, you're not alone there. If you're constantly in that space of messiness and things are all over the place and you're not surrounded by beauty or plants or flowers, life is going to feel very dull. Because your eyes being surrounded by this and seeing that takes in the moment. And even if it's very subtle, it makes a huge difference in your ability to feel more into your feminine energy. Tip number 3, I learned all about inhabiting my body, which is embodiment. And that is my sauce. I love embodiment so much. Embodiment is a term that's up and coming, and so many people and women are coming home to this. So embodiment, like I said, means inhabiting your body. And I'll give you some tips on how to do that. But coming home to my body, getting out of my head, into my heart, listening to my heart, allowing my heart and my soul to speak to me, and then taking action from that place. Also, getting into my hips and getting into the lower part of my body, connecting to my womb more, and just really understanding this magical, intelligent vessel that we have completely changed my life and tapped me into my feminine energy, because the feminine is this beautiful vessel that we have that houses our soul. Habit number 4 that completely ignited my feminine energy was attending women's circles and being in communities of women. This one is so big and so important because so many of us as women, we struggle with the sister wound. And so the sister wound is the wound that we have with other feminine beings. And typically this wound comes from our mother, or if we were raised around other women, it comes from our relationship and the early stages of our life and how we related to these feminine beings, to these women. And so when you surround yourself by other women, there's going to be triggers that arise that are going to reignite that energy that was never completed, emotions that were never completed from past experiences that you had with other women. And so why is it important to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be triggered? Because that energy is seeking completion. That energy is false. It's not real. Your heart truly, and your feminine being truly desires collaboration and cooperation with other women. But we've been so deeply programmed for so long, for many ages, to be in a state of competition or judgment, or feeling like less than women, or feeling superior to other women, and constantly in this state of falsehood and this state of separation from other women rather than feeling united with other women. And your feminine heart deeply craves that. You're constantly surrounded by reality TV show that is showing women fighting with each other, and they've just like, it's like our world has normalized being separate from other women. And there's so many things that I can say about this, and this could be a video for another time around why we've been so separated from other women. But I will just leave it at this. Women, when we gather together, I've seen this time and time again, we are so powerful. Feminine energy is so vast. It's the energy of creation. So when you're sitting in circle or in a community with women, 5, 10, 15 women, and you're in that energy of feminine energy, and you're creating together through sharing your vulnerabilities, through sharing your shame, through just allowing yourself to be fully seen and heard and acknowledged. There's so much love that gets activated in that space. And it's so beautiful what you experience, as well as the healing that comes from your past illusions of what being a woman has been, or what being in close connection with a woman has been for you. And so when I started to step into these circles and just let myself be heard and seen and step into my vulnerability and allowing all the shame that I was harboring inside of myself to be finally seen and witnessed, the healing that happened in my life was insane. The type of connection that I started to form with my own feminine radiance and magnetism and energy was insane, because when you practice letting yourself be seen in a safe space, when you go out into the world, it's not going to feel as scary as it once did. And so it takes practice, and what better way to do it than a community of other women that are also so deeply desiring to have way more than just surface level conversations and deep, deep, deep connection. Deep connection is at the core of our being. As humans, we deeply crave to connect with one another. But when you've gone through trauma, and when you feel shame, and when your body's holding on to so much unprocessed energy, it becomes really freaking hard to connect. And that's where the work comes in, and it's so important. And with that, I actually have a beautiful, beautiful container. It's an experience for women, an embodiment experience for women, where you're doing the deep work and covering a lot of what we're talking about here to inhabit your body, to connect to your feminine energy. And you also have a community of women doing it by your side. For 13 weeks, you are in this deep experience, and you are activating all of your feminine essence. And by the end of that, you've been in this energy of being with other women. You've allowed yourself to be seen, to be heard, and you've learned so many tools and skills to come back home to yourself, to your feminine energy. And you're going to see so much change in your reality, because the work comes from within first, and then your outer reality starts to shift. You start magnetizing love, abundance, just powerful energy. Your connections start to shift. You have sisterhood, you have a tribe. You believe in yourself to follow your heart, to follow your dreams, because you've just surrounded yourself with so many others that believe in you. And most of us now as women are really needing that, because you probably don't have that support system in your life. And that support system is so needed for the feminine. The feminine loves to be held. The feminine loves to just surrender to the support and the love that's around her. And so if you're wanting to ignite your feminine energy, surround yourself with other women in a community that can hold you and see you and love you and will trigger you. And the last habit that ignited my feminine power and my feminine energy was ceremonies and rituals. So what this means is having a sacred space to go to every day to connect with your soul and to connect to the divine, whatever your expression of the divine is, God, source, universe, really sitting in a space every day to be in self-devotion. Self-devotion is a huge piece of embodying your feminine energy. And so ceremonies and rituals, like I said, they can be micro ceremonies where you are doing them every day, or they can be more ceremonies where you are going through big shifts in your life. An example of this is that when my partner and I started dating, we actually did a ceremony for him to ask me to be his girlfriend. And he wrote me a poem, and I sat with cacao. And cacao is this beautiful elixir. It's just chocolate in its purest form. It comes from like Guatemala, Colombia, Honduras, all that fun stuff. And we sat with cacao and we prayed and we called upon the divine to come in and to support our union, our relationship in this beautiful new initiation in our life, right? So when you're going through big changes, maybe it's a career change, maybe it's an environmental change, whatever change you're going through, maybe it's the start of a new journey, whether it's your health journey and your fitness journey, or maybe just your embodiment journey or your spiritual journey, sitting in a space where you can journal, connect, and breathe and just be with yourself and the divine. This will ignite so much of your feminine power, because you're going to be able to become sensitive to hear all the dimensions in your body and to be able to express into the world from your intuition. And feminine energy is intuitive energy that comes from the wisdom in your body. So I want to wrap this up by giving you baby steps. So you're going to want to write these down. I know I already gave you some examples through the explanations, but I want to give you like little micro baby steps that you can take that don't feel too much, that don't feel too big, so that you have a practical way of applying these and seeing your life completely change. And I promise you, if you apply these 5 little micro habits with the practical steps that I'm going to give you, and you do this for the next 30 days, you will ignite your feminine energy, and you're going to feel so much more magnetic in your life. You're going to attract so much more love and abundance, and you're going to feel so good in your body and not so much in your head. And I know you want that. All right, Queen. So practical step for habit number 1, which is to slow down. Take 10 to 15 minutes a day to breathe. And you can do this outside, putting your feet on some grass, taking in the sun, and just breathing, being in the moment. And if it's a colder month for you, I have a link below for a grounding mat that can bring in the energy of Earth's frequencies. It's a mini mat. You can sit on that mat, bringing in Earth's frequencies while you are breathing, while you are just taking in the moment. 10 to 15 minutes. That's it, a day to do that. Habit number 2, surrounding yourself with beauty. Baby step for you to take is go buy yourself some flowers today. Right after this video, go to the store, buy yourself some flowers that feel so good, cut them, put them in a vase, and put them somewhere where you can see them every day. And get yourself some candles. So at night, you can turn off the really bright lights, put on some music, and light your little candles. I love using the candles that you see right here, which I'll drop the link below, because those candles are just like, they're not real candles, and they have a remote and you can put them all over your room, and it's just so nice. The ambiance that it creates, it feels so beautiful and pleasurable. Habit number 3, inhabiting your body. Play one song a day, close your eyes, and move your hips, move your spine in circular motions. You can even bring your arms in circular motions. You can even bring your arms in circular motions, move your neck, your shoulders, your spine, connecting to circular energy, which is very feminine energy. One song a day, that's it. Circular energy. It's going to feel a little weird at first if you've never done it, but I promise you this will change your life, because it's going to bring your energy, your masculine overdoing energy that causes overthinking and anxiety, down into your lower half, and you're going to feel so much more better throughout your day. Number 4, attending a women's circle or surrounding yourself by a community of women that are into this stuff, into spirituality, feminine energy, attracting love. So my tip for you is to search in your area. You can check on Google, you can check on Facebook, women's circles in whatever city you live in, and see if there's anything there. Attend one. Maybe it's at a yoga studio. Go to a circle, go to like a breathwork journey, go to some kind of event in person where you can surround yourself with other women. And if that's hard for you, or maybe that feels a little like too much and too fast and too soon for you, then find an online community. And I already shared with you that my program, Wildly Devoted Embodiment Academy, beautiful program, 13 weeks, where you will be surrounded with community with a back learning portal full of embodiment practices and rituals and ceremonies that will help you tap into your feminine. So I do have that available, and you can check the link below for that. And tip number 5, ceremonies and rituals with yourself. So you can also find the link below, and I will have in there journals. I invite you to get a journal. I invite you to get an oracle deck where you can pull some cards, so that way you have something tangible to look at. And if you don't know how to pull some cards, it's literally so simple. The deck will have an explanation on how to do it. And cards are just a great way to bring your soul into a tangible experience and receive an answer for a question that you have. So I'll put some links below so you can look at different oracle decks and spend some time praying to the divine, whatever that may be for you. I don't follow a religious dogma. I personally believe in God, but not the religious God. I believe that there's something so much bigger, and I do pray. But prayer for me is not something that I'm like, please, please, please. Prayer for me is asking and just knowing that it is done and surrendering myself to this bigger divine being that exists. And so pray, ask for what you want. What are you wanting to create in your life? Ask for support. I would love to be supported in a new endeavor. I would love to be supported in trusting the unknown and surrendering to the unknown as I maybe quit my job, or as I enter the dating world, or as I enter this new relationship. Just pray and connect to something bigger than you. The feminine really thrives in that. So I hope that this brought some awareness and some energy and some inspiration and some excitement for you to start tapping into your feminine energy. These habits changed my life 5 years ago when I even first started getting into feminine energy and was like, what the heck even is this? And once I started to realize that I had such a disconnection to my feminine, and I put these 5 habits to work, my life completely changed. So I hope that this finds you well. And like I said, if you're a spiritually hungry girly that's wanting to ignite her feminine energy and attract healthy love, you're going to want to stick around, because there's going to be so many more videos coming for you. So make sure you hit like and that subscribe button. And if there's anything that you feel like you want to share with me, go ahead and comment below any other videos around feminine energy, spirituality, self-devotion, maybe questions around what we spoke about today. I would love to communicate more with you in the comment section. So I love you, and I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are at in the world. Mwah.